What if I told you that a single, practically indestructible backyard vine could produce 50 to 100 crisp, nutritious fruits every single year, effectively replacing every grocery store zucchini and summer squash in your family's diet? Even more shocking is that underneath the soil, this plant quietly builds a massive, starchy tuber the size of a human head that keeps the plant coming back year after year for up to 2 decades, completely eliminating the need to buy seeds or till your soil every spring. Yet, despite being richer in folate and fiber than almost any squash you can buy at the supermarket, this incredible powerhouse was intentionally buried by history and marketing campaigns decades ago. You are probably making the common household mistake of spending hard-earned money on fragile, chemical-dependent annual seeds every single season when a single investment in this one perennial system could naturally secure a massive portion of your food supply for 25 years. If you want to stop spinning your wheels on expensive garden supplies and discover the timeless natural secrets that big seed corporations hoped you would forget, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. We are building something truly special here, and I would love for you to drop your city, village, district, or country down in the comments below. We have a beautiful community of resourceful households, passionate home gardeners, and hardworking farmers tuning in from every corner of the globe, and seeing exactly where you are watching from helps me understand just how far our growing family reaches. Today we are talking about Sechium eduli, a climbing powerhouse that most people simply know as chayote, merleton, or the vegetable pear. It is a vigorous cousin of the pumpkin and zucchini. But instead of dying off at the first sign of trouble, it plays a long, resilient game. But before we dig into how to plant this legendary vine, let us talk about how to protect it and everything else in your garden using simple, dirt-cheap remedies made from things you already have sitting in your kitchen cabinet. Most people deal with garden pests by running to the store for synthetic chemical sprays. But your grandmother probably knew a secret that got forgotten along the way. And it involves a simple bottle of liquid dish soap. Soap acts as a natural contact insecticide because it breaks down the protective waxy coating on the bodies of soft-bodied insects like aphids, spider mites, and whiteflies, causing them to dehydrate rapidly. To mix this up for a standard household kitchen or a small balcony garden, just grab a standard liquid dish soap, preferably one that is free of heavy fragrances or degrazers, and mix 2 tablespoons of it into 1 gallon of clean, lukewarm water. If you are a small or medium-scale farmer looking to cover a 1/4 acre or more of vegetable beds, you can easily scale this up by mixing 5 cups of liquid soap into a 100-gallon tractor spray tank. When you spray this mixture, you want to make sure you thoroughly coat both the tops and the undersides of the leaves until you can hear the water dripping steadily onto the rough, dry soil below. It is absolutely crucial to apply this treatment either in the early morning, just as the sun is peeking over the horizon, or in the cool of the evening. Spraying soap during the heat of the day will cause the sun to bake the residue, scorching the deep green leaves of your plants. For best results, repeat this application every 5 to 7 days until the pests are gone. Now, while keeping bugs away is great, you also need to feed your soil, so your chayote vine can grow those massive running stems that stretch up to 30 meters long. But here is where it gets really interesting, because the ultimate plant booster is something millions of households throw into the trash can every single morning. Without realizing what it can do, I am talking about your leftover morning coffee grounds. Coffee grounds are packed with nitrogen, potassium, and magnesium, which are the exact essential nutrients your plants crave to build vibrant foliage and strong roots. When you run your fingers through dried coffee grounds, they feel slightly gritty, and that texture is fantastic for improving soil structure and aeration. To use this as a direct soil amendment in a home kitchen garden or for potted balcony plants, simply take a cup of dried grounds and scratch them gently into the top 2 inches of soil around the base of your plants. If you are a farmer managing a larger plot, you can partner with local coffee shops to collect grounds by the bucket load and spread them as a thin mulch, roughly a 1/4 inch thick, across your planting rows. As the rain falls, and you hear the water soaking into the dry earth, it slowly leaches those rich nutrients down into the root zone. Apply this once a month during the active spring and summer growing seasons, making sure not to pile it too thick right against the main stem, to give your crops a slow-release nutritional boost that costs absolutely nothing. Speaking of things we throw away, let us talk about a kitchen waste product that can save your plants from devastating fungal diseases, like powdery mildew, which often leaves a ghostly white coating across beautiful green squash leaves. Instead of buying expensive chemical fungicides, just look inside your refrigerator for a carton of ordinary cow's milk. The science behind this is beautiful in its simplicity, because when milk is exposed to sunlight, the natural proteins and amino acids create a mild antiseptic effect that actively kills fungal spores without harming the plant. To prepare this at home, mix 1 part milk with 9 parts water inside a simple plastic spray bottle. For medium-scale farmers who need to protect large fields of crops, the ratio stays exactly the same, meaning you would mix 10 gallons of milk with 90 gallons of water for a large pull-behind sprayer. You want to apply this as a preventative mist, soaking the foliage completely until the plants glisten in the light. The best time to spray your milk solution is right in the middle of a bright, sunny morning, because the ultraviolet rays of the sun are what actually activate the antifungal properties of the milk. Do this once every 2 weeks during warm, humid weather, when fungal diseases love to thrive, and you will keep your garden looking pristine and spotless. As your garden begins to thrive, you might notice that larger, chewing pests like caterpillars, beetles, or even roaming rodents start eyeing your lush greenery. Most people assume they need harsh, toxic deterrents, but you can create a powerful shield using the spiciest thing in your pantry: cayenne pepper powder. Insects and small mammals are highly sensitive to capsaicin, the natural chemical compound that makes peppers hot, and it creates an intense burning sensation that drives them away immediately. To make a potent hot pepper spray, take 2 tablespoons of cayenne pepper powder from your spice rack and mix it into 1 gallon of water, adding a few drops of dish soap, just to help the liquid stick to the slick surface of the leaves. For farmers looking to protect long borders or entire fields from pests, you can mix 3 pounds of cayenne pepper powder into 50 gallons of water. Give it a good stir and let it steep overnight so the heat fully infuses into the liquid. Spray this fiery mixture thoroughly over your plants every Tuesday and Friday morning, or immediately after a heavy rainstorm has washed the previous layer away. The sharp, pungent scent of the pepper will hang in the morning air, signaling to every pest in the area that your crops are strictly off-limits. But what if your soil is naturally acidic, or your plants are desperately screaming for calcium to prevent blossom end rot? Once again, the household kitchen has the perfect remedy, and it comes from the breakfast table in the form of discarded eggshells. Eggshells are almost pure calcium carbonate, which strengthens plant cell walls and neutralizes overly acidic soil conditions over time. To prepare this, save your eggshells, rinse them out, and let them dry until they are completely brittle. Crush them down with your hands or a rolling pin until they look like a coarse white powder. For home gardeners and households with balcony pots, simply scatter a handful of this crushed powder directly into the planting hole when transplanting, or work it into the soil around the base of established vines. For small-scale farmers, you can collect these shells in large quantities from local bakeries or restaurants, crush them en masse, and broadcast them across your fields at a rate of roughly 20 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Because eggshells break down slowly, the best time to apply them is early in the spring season, so they can break down in the dirt all winter and summer long. Now that your soil is charged and your natural defenses are ready, let us return to our star perennial vine, the chayote. If you live in a climate that enjoys at least 150 frost-free days, you can grow this legendary plant with ease. Unlike traditional squash varieties where you plant tiny dried seeds, the chayote is unique because you must plant the entire mature fruit whole. You simply buy a mature chayote from a local market, leave it on your kitchen counter, and wait for the single large seed inside to naturally burst through the bottom of the skin with a green sprout. Once that sprout appears, bury the entire fruit on its side in well-drained soil rich in organic matter, leaving just the very tip of the green sprout exposed above the earth. For households and home gardeners, you only need 1 or 2 fruits planted near a sturdy fence, a heavy trellis, or an overhead arbor because these vines will climb vigorously, using wiry tendrils to claim any space you give them. For medium-scale farmers, space your planting sites about 10 feet apart, along strong wire trellis systems that can support hundreds of pounds of hanging fruit. Water the area deeply once or twice a week, allowing the moisture to sink deep into the ground where the massive root tuber is forming. In about 4 months, separate male and female flowers will appear. And soon you will be harvesting dozens of pale green, pear-shaped fruits from a single root system that will continue to feed your family for decades. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today and sharing in this journey back to real, sustainable gardening wisdom. If you found value in these timeless home remedies and want to help ensure that incredible heritage plants like the chayote never disappear from our collective memory again, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to type your location in the comments below, because whether you are tending a few small pots on a high-rise apartment balcony or managing rows of crops in the middle of a vast farming field, your presence makes our global community stronger. Keep your eyes peeled for our next video, where we are going to uncover a shocking household liquid that turns ordinary garden weeds into powerful, nutrient-rich liquid fertilizer in less than 24 hours. Until next time, step outside, feel the earth between your fingers, and happy growing.